It's cool. I'm fine. I don't want to beef no more. These niggas is taking it too far. I wake up this morning, I see another Drake breaking news. I'm like, oh word, Drake dropped another one, Hard Part 6. What do we got now? What do we got now? We almost got a body bag. Somebody got shot outside of Drake's house allegedly around 2 to 3 a.m. this morning. The reason I'm saying allegedly is because I still haven't received too much information. We do know it's a bodyguard that was shot. Allegedly when the police arrived, he was unconscious. But this is wild. This is wild. Even if it has nothing to do with the Kendrick Lamar beef, even if it has nothing to do with the beef, you can't help but the first thing you do is think about Kendrick. Like, was the bodyguard the mole? What is going on? Did Drake find out who was spilling out the information to the other camp? Oh, the bodyguard, the nigga that's with me all the time. That's why Kendrick keeps saying the mole is super close to you. They can't be no closer than a bodyguard.
Want you as a casualty, and one of them is actually next to you, and two of them is practically tired of your lifestyle, just don't got the audacity.
There was a handful of videos that I did start seeing releasing shortly after. Everyone's trying to get to the bottom of this and figure out what's going on, what's the motive. There's a couple videos we'll react to today. One of them was the first video I saw this morning. This one right here. This is a helicopter shot of the mansion, and then we have another couple of news clips and the detectives actually answering questions outside of the house. Let's see what this footage shows, and then we'll further go into detail. As information keeps developing, we will keep doing updates. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We're on that road to 10,000 subscribers.
Okay, more breaking news this morning here on CB24 Breakfast. This from the Bridle Path area, where a police investigation is underway at Drake's home. Chopper 24 is above the scene this morning. It shows the street shut down just outside of 21 Park Lane Circle. That property belongs to the rapper. Crime scene tape can not only be seen outside, but also in the front courtyard driveway of Drake's home. It's not clear at this point what the nature of the investigation is. It's also unclear if this is connected to an overnight shooting that police have told us about in the area where shots rang out. This is in the Bayview and Lawrence Avenue area, which is in the sort of general area of Drake's home. So this was just after 2 o'clock this morning. In this case, one person taken to hospital with serious injuries. Investigators say the suspects left the area in a vehicle. Once again, no official word from police if there is a connection. We are working on that. We have our Courtney Hills making her way now to this scene. Again, Drake's home, police investigating. We'll have much more throughout the morning here on CP.
I'm sure we're not the only ones that automatically starts thinking about the beef that Drake's currently involved with. We can't even keep up with everyone. From Metro, Future, Nav, Weekend, Cash, and Cash is also from Toronto. Don't forget, there was a shooting as well at Cash's house about a week ago. Guns tweaking, we tweaking, ho, wrong. Not the moment.
Breaking news out of Encino, where a security guard has been wounded outside of a music executive's home.
Gigi Graciette is live there with all the details. Gigi.
And the man, we're told, is fighting for his life. He's in his early 30s, in critical condition, and at last check was in surgery. You are looking live at this private road here in Encino. LAPD and their investigators still here. Take a look at this video just shot for you. You can see police officers around a guard shack, and that is where it is believed that security guard was shot multiple times around 2:30 this morning. 911 receiving many calls from people who said they heard 3 to 4 gunshots, and it's possible the victim was alert and conscious and managed to call 911 himself, telling police that he had just been shot here at the home. The suspects, 3 men, all reportedly armed with guns, wearing hoodies, took off running right after the shooting. Now, the multi-million-dollar home belongs to Amir Ismailian, better known as Cash XO, who together with recording artist The Weeknd founded XO Records and has made quite a name for himself in the music industry. At least 4 people were inside the home at the time of the shooting, and it is believed that the security guard was working for Ismailian, who earlier we were told was at home at the time of the shooting. We're working to confirm that. Again, a man left fighting for his life after being shot here. Police working on the theory that this was possibly an attempted burglary or home invasion, but they ran into the security guard first, shot him, and then those suspects took off running. Reporting live, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
All right, Gigi, thank you.
But there was a shooting outside of Cash's house as well a couple days ago. If you guys haven't heard about that, I believe his bodyguard was injured as well. Could these 2 shootings be connected to each other by any chance? I know the other one I believe was in Los Angeles. This one now happens to be in Toronto. Well, again, they're both from Toronto. They're beefing. I'm sure Abel's connected to some people in Toronto, some street people. Could they be connected or not? Is it just some random fans that just happen to drive by the house? But random fans with a gun doing a drive-by to a security guard? Like, who are you beefing with? Who's Kendrick's fan base? Who is Kendrick's fan base? I thought Kendrick's fans were the type of niggas to go to the library on a Saturday, not drive by and shoot somebody's house over wah, 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 wah. lot. Like, they took that shit a little bit too serious. They took that shit a little bit too serious. What is going on? Was Drake even the target? It makes it hard to believe that they went to Drake's home and Drake wasn't the target of the shooting. As Kendrick Lamar's song To Not Like Us, with a whole bunch of dots on top of the house, that big ass house is not just Drake living there alone. There's a whole bunch of other people that live in there as well. Could this have been for one of them? Could have been fans trolling, security guard put his chest out, start talking crazy, but they end up hitting him right in the chest. I have so many questions of what the hell is going on. What is the coincidence that the boy has never been involved in anything similar to this that I know of, this publicly, a shooting on his property? The guy's even lived in Miami on a condo. And this happens in Toronto, right when the beef with Kendrick is getting crazy. He got everybody crip walking to his song. He got people sounding like a family cookout at the end. OV-ho, OV-ho, OV-ho.
Let me hear you say OV-ho. Say OV-ho. Then step this way. Step.
Oh, trust me, I'm hurt. I'm waiting patiently. Hopefully it don't end like this. Hopefully it does not end like this. Hopefully we get something else from Drake. Drake, please don't let them niggas, the last thing they remember is Not Like Us. Please. That shit gonna be the next Ether. That and Ether gonna be next. And it's crazy because I always compare Drake to Jay. And I look at Family Matters like I looked at Takeover. Like, they both better songs, but it's that shock value. It's that underdog shock value. Let's see the other clip that I wanted to show you guys of a dude recording his television. This is what I woke up to first thing this morning. Like, as soon as I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was see this, and I was so confused, rubbing the crust out my eyes, because they didn't want to say who the person was that was shot. So my heart was broken. Like, no. Please, God, please don't let it be Drake. Please don't let it be Drake. And it wasn't. We ended up finding out later it was a bodyguard. All right, this is the clip right here.
One man was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. No word on the identity of that person at this point. A suspect fled in a vehicle, but police say so far there is no description. Once again, this is a live look outside of 21 Park Circle Lane in the Bridle Path, which is widely known to be the home of Toronto-born rapper Drake. You can stay with us.
So that was the first thing that I saw this morning. Super confused. Like, what could have happened? The first thing that came to my mind was Drake found the mold. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Then I'm like, nah, realistically, what do you think really occurred? Like, I need to know. Oh my God, this is like a crazy mystery. What occurred? What happened? What happened that caused a drive-by to happen? And you know what's funny? Not funny, but funny. On Family Matters, remember, he talks about opening the latches on that minivan and sliding by, and we did a whole video. We like, they hit his house with the like, oh my God, what is going on? A drive-by by Drake's house. Another thing that I learned was I didn't even know that area was called Bridle Path, which then adds to 7 p.m. in Bridle Path during Certified Lover Boy when this is Kanye West. I knew it was a time zone, 7 p.m., but I did not know Bridle Path. I didn't know what the correlation to that was. Now I see. Now it all makes sense. Then another clip that I saw shortly after that one was another news clip. We'll go over the couple news clips that we've seen so you can see as the story developed throughout the day. It's already 5:50 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm still trying to see what else we can figure out before we release this video. When I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, serious injuries.
Outside of the home of Drake after reports of an overnight shooting in the area. Here's a live look at the scene now. This is outside of 21 Park Lane Circle in North York, well known to be the home of the Toronto-born rapper. Details are still very limited, but police have confirmed to City News that the person injured is not Drake. Officers responded to the shooting around 2 this morning. One person was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. No word on the identity of that person. A suspect fled in a vehicle, but no description is available at this point. Stay with us here on BT for the latest.
This is a very wealthy neighborhood. Nor have I ever been there in my life, but from looking at the house, the embassy from Drake, you're not building this just in any neighborhood. You're not just building this in any neighborhood. And in one of the shots of the helicopter, you can see the house in the backyard, and his neighbor's house looks crazy. Look, you can start seeing a little bit of everyone else's property. Dude has a tennis court, pool, big ass house. That looks insane. That one back there might look as big or even bigger than the embassy. Is that the backyard? That is crazy. What I'm saying is, there's no way you're telling me something like this happened in this type of neighborhood and there's no cameras in the street. There's no cameras outside of people's houses. Surveillance systems recording outside the fence. Drake's house itself. Like, there has to be footage of what happened. There has to be footage. In a neighborhood like this, there has to be footage. I'm surprised this isn't even gated or there's security around. Nothing. nothing. It's just wild. Also, living over that grass from Drake's house must be wild. Then I go to Academics' page and I seen the Academic posted an article. Breaking news, reportedly 2 a.m. last night, gunshots went off outside near Drake's house in Toronto. The one pictured on Kendrick Lamar's latest single cover, that's Not Like Us, when they got all the little red dots. That's supposed to be guys that are inside that home that could be a danger to children. That's all alleged, but they could be a danger to children. That's all alleged. Now, do I think Drake is one of those that could be in danger to children? I just can't. It just doesn't make logical sense in my head. And we haven't seen no physical evidence. Police has entered block closed off while doing their investigation. Article supporting reports. Toronto police are investigating a shooting that took place outside of Drake's Bridle Path mansion early Tuesday morning. A source tells CP24. One man was seriously injured in a gunfire and rushed to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police tape and patrol cars could have been seen outside of the rap superstar's home near Park Lane Circle and Post Road. The shooting comes amid an escalating rap beef with Los Angeles rapper Kendrick Lamar. Drake has offered to cooperate with investigators, the sources say. This breaking news, more to come. Let me clear one thing up. They're saying Drake has offered to cooperate with investigators. That sounds wild. I did see the investigator video. We'll talk about that more in this video, but he doesn't say Drake particularly. They asked him that. And he says, I haven't spoke to Drake himself. I did speak to his team, and they are more than happy to cooperate in the investigation. They made it sound like Drake was on the phone like, they did what outside? I was shaking in the safe room. I couldn't wait. Come upstairs. I'm going to tell you everything that happened. Like, no, that's not what occurred. That's not what occurred. Then there's another article posted again by Academics, which this now breaks down more of how we found out it was the bodyguard. A police source tells CBC that early details from the initial call suggest the victim was a security guard at the home who appears to have been shot in a drive-by attack. He suffered a gunshot wound to the upper chest and was unconscious when officers arrived. That's scary as hell. Because imagine that guy dies or would have died. Like, how does that work? While working on Drake's property, like, nah, throw away the whole embassy. I don't even want to live here no more. Hold on, there's ghosts in here? No, I'm good. J. Cole woke up this morning, turned on the news, and has never been more grateful in his life than today that he apologized. Like, he knew this was gonna get dark. And is this a benefit to Kendrick Lamar now or not? Kendrick Lamar did put out the picture of Park Lane Drive, Drake's aerial shot of the mansion, the embassy, which a lot of people already know where he lives, but the fact that he put that out and just a couple days later a shooting happens on the property, does that look bad on him? Not hip-hop wise, because I know us hip-hop fans love things like that, but overall, like, is that a bad look to be tied to anything like that? I would love to know. Police haven't commented further on the case at this point. However, a police source says earlier details from the initial call suggest the victim was a security guard at the home who appears to have been shot in a drive-by attack. He suffered a gunshot wound to the upper chest and was unconscious when officers arrived. According to the initial report, the victim was taken to the hospital via emergency run, where he underwent surgery. Images of the rapper's 50,000 square foot home are frequently shared online, often by Drake himself. When I saw the embassy for the first time, I'm like, nah, the security there must be even tougher than TSA. Like, nah, looking at that mansion with basketball courts, basketball leagues, Drake's in there actually winning summer leagues and shit. Like, nah, there has to be a crazy amount of security. The fact that you're even allowing that many guys to come to your house to play ball is wild. So that's what's telling me that there has to be security out the ass in there.
Not clear if Drake is in the home or was in the home last night, Natasha, or exactly where on the property the shooting took place, whether it was inside the home, on the front lawn, outside on the street, or where exactly it took place. A source has told CBC News the person that was shot was a security guard, and that police were told that person was unconscious and had received a gunshot wound to the upper chest. And again, that person was rushed to hospital. We understand they underwent some kind of surgery. We don't have an update on that person's condition what the state is of their health right now. Those are all the details we know so far. Now, again, police obviously on scene. We're hoping they'll give us a bit of an update as soon as possible so we can learn more about what happened here early this morning.
Well, one of the questions it's raising, Megan, is, of course, Drake has already been in the headlines. I don't know how closely everyone's been following this, but if you follow hip-hop or if you're following entertainment news, Drake has been in this ongoing...
CBC then goes live once again outside the home. They were out there all day. They got enough content for the week outside of Drake's house today. I'm sure if us on this side would love to know what is going on. Imagine Imagine a hometown hero. Not even the hometown hero. I paid $75 million for one of these big ass houses and you got people getting shot outside the house. Security at that? No. I need to know what the hell is happening and I want that person caught now. I'm sure a lot of powerful people live on that street. Drake's also, the way people say that he can get the border to clear anyone to get into Toronto, he gotta have some pull. But now I just can't stop thinking about the Cash shooting from like a couple weeks ago, that article that I read. Like, does this have any tie to that one? Let's watch CBC News when they go live again outside the house with more updating information. I also want to search to see if anything broke in the last hour to 30 minutes. I want to see if anything broke before we end this video, but there's still two more I want to show you, which is this news clip. After this, the actual investigator outside the house talking about the details they currently have and what they're working with.
Incident occurring in the wake of Drake's ongoing beef with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar. CP24's Courtney Heels is on the scene with more. Courtney, we see the police tape behind you. What more can you tell us?
Good morning, Marcy. I can tell you there is a pretty heavy police presence along this road. This is Park Lane Circle. It's the street that Drake lives on. This is as close to the scene as we can get. You can see they have a Toronto police van here, a couple of officers blocking the road, also yellow police tape here too. Now, Chopper 24, that's our newsroom helicopter, was able to get over Drake's home earlier. And in that video, we saw some yellow police tape in the courtyard of his home. Also some people going in and out of the house. And as you reported, that CP24 reporting there is a source confirming there was a shooting outside of his home. We do not know if Drake was home at the time, and this is all happening in the wake of this ongoing feud with another artist, Kendrick Lamar. We don't know if there's a connection here just yet. We are in touch with Toronto Police to see if they can share any more on this investigation. They are staying pretty tight-lipped, but what I can also tell you, police are sharing that they are investigating a shooting in this general area where we are. This is the Bridle Path neighborhood. Police say they were called to the Lawrence and Bayview area at about 2 in the morning. That's really close to where we are. At that time, that was a shooting investigation, and police and paramedics told us a man, an adult, was rushed to hospital with serious injuries, and they were still looking for a suspect seen leaving the area. Now, we've reached out to police to see, okay, is that shooting that was clearly very close to that connected to this one? They're just not saying just yet. We expect an update on this pretty soon, especially given the attention this is getting this morning right now. But the latest on this breaking news, a shooting outside of Drake's home happened sometime overnight. We don't have any further details. We don't know if the artist was there, but this is a pretty significant police presence in this neighborhood. Marcia, as I say, this is as close as we can get. I was actually on the other side of the road here, and again, entirely blocked off by cruisers, and we can not really see from this vantage point, but our chopper overhead was able to show us police in the courtyard of the home, and there's some yellow police tape up there too.
Okay, you've hit a couple of key points that I wanted to follow up on. So we don't know exactly what time the shooting occurred, Courtney?
No, and we're kind of going off of the other update from Toronto Police with that suggestion that they did investigate a shooting overnight at about 2 in the morning in the Bayview and Lawrence area. And again, they're not saying, okay, that's close enough to hear this is the same shooting, just not yet. They're staying pretty quiet on this one. So we're just waiting to get more information. But we do know this happened at the very least overnight, because first thing this morning, this is what neighbors in this residential area, I guess you could say, this is a very affluent neighborhood that we're in. They woke up to this heavy police presence and obviously a lot of questions about what happened too.
Yeah, and to that, and I know you've just arrived on the scene, and for our viewers across the country, you kind of touched on it there too. This is an affluent neighborhood, but it's pretty open. Yeah. Everybody knew where Drake lived. Yeah. There is a lot of space between the houses. The homes are mansions. Have you had a chance to speak to anyone? Are people able to leave the neighborhood and drive out? Are things blocked off? Set more of the scene for us there, please. Again, for the benefit of our viewers across the country who aren't familiar with this area, we know in Toronto is the Bridle Path.
Yeah, so anybody who lives in the Toronto area likely is pretty familiar with this neighborhood, Bridle Path, big mansions. It's a gorgeous neighborhood, a lot of space between these homes too. In terms of the actual location where Drake lives as well, it is well known. A lot of people know he lives on this street right behind me here. As for talking to neighbors, I haven't just yet. Keep in mind, it's not as simple as kind of knocking on doors. I mean, I literally have to go up giant driveways, and I will do that. We just arrived here because this is a story that really broke only 45 minutes or so ago. So we wanted to get here, of course, first to give you this perspective. There are some homes along here, Marcia, that I see are within the yellow police tape. So I'll keep an eye out, of course, to see if anybody's going in and out. Other homes in the area, there's no impact there. Many, once they do come out of their home, they'll likely see this because the whole road is blocked off.
Okay, great reporting. Courtney Hills, thanks so much on the scene of what?
Like even the newscast himself is like, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Drake has been in a major rap beef right now that's been all over the headline. Even my mother has called me like, you've been paying attention to this Drake thing? Oh my God, I know you like Drake a lot. This is looking crazy. Like, to the fact that even my mother knows a hip hop beef beef is going on is why. So I can see the investigators, even though they don't want to tell us, that they're covering that. Unless you're the worst cops in the world, you definitely got to see if there's any crazy fans, any of his people from Los Angeles drove over to Canada to do this and then drive back. Is that possible, or is it hard across the border? Like, if you go over there, do some wild shit and then come right back, like, how does that work out? Then after that news clip that we saw, shortly after we see them go back in front of his house again, once again. But I wanted to show you this one because in this video you can see a lot more of the taping outside. There's one that shows the door, I believe, like it happened in front of his house. You see this area right here that I'm circling, right around here, like the front of the home, that square, that's where it happened. Because later on we're gonna see photos of this taped off, that square right there in the center is taped off. So did they shoot, like did they pull up, drive-by shooting? They had to stay in the vehicle. So it just came by and just started shooting randomly at the front of the house. Somebody had to be standing there and got hit. Or you can see that there's like a little path right here. Maybe they were parked right around here, started talking, security pulls up to the front, tells them to leave, and they start shooting down this little long hall right here. Is that what happened? Once again, so many questions, but there has to be footage. That's the last thing you're imagining, to wake up in a neighborhood like that, knowing you might have one of the most popular musicians ever as your neighbor. He's in a huge rap beef, and then you see that outside. Old white people, I can see something like that scaring them off. Like, it's cool, brother. This neighborhood got tainted. I'm good. I'm up out of here. That's scary to a lot. That is scary to a lot. Again, the bodyguard is under surgery, so I'm not sure if he ends up passing away, if he survived. There wasn't really too much information on age or nothing today, but the most information I did get was from the investigators that ended up showing up and answering questions, because there was just so many today. And again, as somebody as popular as Drake, such a rich, upheld neighborhood, I'm assuming Bridle Path is similar to like a Beverly Hills or something in California. So there's a lot of people that want answers to this. Let's see what the investigator said before we wrap this up.
When officers arrived, they located a male who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. That male was taken to hospital in serious condition. That person was working apparently as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. Again, it's very early on in the investigation. I cannot speak to a motive at this time because it's so early, but as we get information, we will share it with you. Anyone with information is asked to call 416-808-2510 or Crime Stoppers. You can expect to see an increased presence in this neighborhood for the next little while, but it's no different than any other shooting or firearm discharge. We'll have officers here looking for witnesses to come forward, as well as we canvassing for video. I'll now take a few questions.
Was Drake home, and is he cooperating with this investigation?
I cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred, but I can tell you that we are in contact with his team and they are cooperating.
To what extent is the rap beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar part of the investigation focus?
So I am aware of what you're talking about, but it is so early in the investigation that we don't have a motive at this time, and so I cannot comment further on that.
While the motive may not be confirmed, if that is something that you're looking at, knowing that this beef crosses borders into the U.S., is there anything being done in the investigation to maybe prevent a potential suspect from leaving Canada?
So this is no different than any other investigation, okay? Like, it's maybe more high profile because there's more people here, but we treat it like any other incident. So we'll be using all our resources. Our teams will be doing as much as they can to investigate this, but it'll be no different than any other investigation at this time.
The man who was shot still in serious condition. Have you been able to talk to him? Has he not been able to give you a suspect description? And how is there no video yet of the car that fled?
So I can tell you that all I'm going to say about the victim is that he's still in the hospital in serious condition.
Age?
And I'm not going to no, I'm not going to at this time.
This is obviously a very well-to-do neighborhood. There's likely a lot of video around. Have you guys begun your canvassing? Do you expect to get a good amount of video involved with this?
I would be surprised if we didn't. I can say that we've already collected some video evidence which captures the incident.
You said suspects plural. Can you say, are we talking 2, 3, or more?
No idea at this time.
And would you characterize this as a drive-by shooting, or more specifically, did they stop and open fire?
I'm not going to get into specifics about the investigation at this time, just that a vehicle was involved and then fled the scene.
Hold on, one thing I did get from this, did he just say we collected footage that showed everything that happened or the incident that happened? So they did collect it, because he was making it sound like, I don't know, it's still so early, maybe we did, maybe we didn't, but then he follows up with that. So there had to be footage, like the reporter said. I just refuse to believe that in a neighborhood like this, there's no cameras outside. It just doesn't make sense to me.
The shot still in serious condition. Have you been able to talk talk to him? Has he not been able to give you a suspect description? And how is there no video yet of the car that fled?
So I can tell you that all I'm going to say about the victim is that he's still in the hospital in serious condition.
Age?
And I'm not going to no, I'm not going to at this time.
This is obviously a very well-to-do neighborhood. There's likely a lot of video around. Have you guys begun your canvassing? Do you expect to get a good amount of video involved with this?
I would be surprised if we didn't. I can say that we've already collected some video evidence which captures the incident.
You said suspects plural. Can you say, are we talking 2, 3, or more?
No idea at this time.
And would you characterize this as a drive-by shooting, or more specifically, did they stop and open fire?
I'm not going to get into specifics about the investigation at this time, just that a vehicle was involved and then fled the scene. That will be part of our investigation, but again, we're very early on.
How did the 911 call come in? Who made it?
I don't have that information.
Was this security guard alone? Were there other security guards here too?
I don't have that information.
In the incident, did it look like the security guard was the target? Were they trying to get past him?
Don't know at this time. This morning at about 2 a.m.
A lot was explained throughout that video, so they might have footage of exactly what happened. They know it's a vehicle. One question that they asked that really couldn't be answered too well that I did want to know was it a drive-by shooting or did they stop to shoot? Because now if it was a drive-by shooting, then we know for sure the security guard wasn't the target. It was just them driving by, letting loose, and just hitting up the house. They were shooting the security guard, like the other reporter said, to get by him, to get inside the house. It's crazy. Who are you messing with? What mafia members did you get mad? Like, nah, this can't just be coming from Kendrick Lamar. There's no way in the world, brother. You got Splinter Cell after. You got Assassin's Creed. They're taking security outside like a stealth mission. You telling me nobody heard it in the neighborhood? No fireworks, no nothing. They had silencers on the pistol. So many questions of what is going on. Let's see if any additional information broke before we end this. Can't find nothing. He remains hospitalized in serious condition. Said that they don't know how many suspects were involved or what kind of car they were in, but noted that the shooting was captured on video. You see, okay, so that's the main thing that I wanted to know, because there's no way in the world that there was no footage. Police have been speaking with witness and canvassing the area for additional videos. Anyone with information, please call in and help as you can. As more information breaks, please make sure to comment down below. Keep me updated, subscribe to the channel, like the video. We will continue to release footage as more information gets released. There is so much going on right now around Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. Like, it is going from just music to everywhere else. It is going from music to everywhere else. We got BBL, we got Rick Ross body shaming Drake. We got his bodyguard allegedly getting hit up. Cash's mansion got hit up in Los Angeles. Like, it's all these things stem together and there's something happening behind the scenes. Because remember, a lot of people thought that the beef started after Like That stuff. And Drake even made sure on push-ups you knew, nah, this has been brewing behind the scenes. Like, this beef been brewing behind the scenes. It was not due to that song. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below. We're on that road to 10,000 subscribers. And we will be doing a giveaway at 10,000. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing Supreme giveaway, Yeezy, merch. We'll think of something. But we will be doing a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. The closer we get, the better the details will be.